live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build some community, to make it a little bit more fun, to be consistent. All right, we're gonna get right away. Order of words with some hip cars. Che says hello, welcome back, and oh, hip cars like a little bit like this. We're starting by bringing our knee up in front as high as we can. We're going to open up that leg to the side. Open it wide that way. We're going to rotate the ankle, bring it up so that the ankle is hidden behind the knee if you're looking at it from the front. From the side, your ankle and your knee are about the same height. And then we're going to keep rotating. We're going to bring the ankle down. Sorry, we're going to bring the knee down. We're going to give that ankle as much upward lift as possible. Your hamstrings are going to cramp up, and we're going to bring that leg down and back. When we bring the leg down and back, from the side, I want it to look a little like this. All right, the knee is going behind the standing leg. You're flexing the hamstrings, you're flexing the glutes, you're feeling the stretch right here in the front of that hip. That is 1 rep. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side, and let's do it. High knee, open, ankle up some more, down and back. That's 1. High knee, open, ankle up some more, down and back. That's 2. High knee. Oh, I'm super off balance today. High knee, open, ankle up some more, down and back. That's 3. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 4. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 5. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 6. Keep going. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 7. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 8, I think. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 9. Last 1. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 10. Whew. Whew. That is 10 hip cars. We got one side done. Let's start on the other side. I'm going to zip up my pockets. I don't think I have anything in them to fall out, but I'm going to zip them up anyway. And let's continue. Stand up straight. Keep that core nice and tight. And let's go. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 1. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 2. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 3. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 4. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 5. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 6. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 7. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 8. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 9. Last 1. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 10. Whew. Whew. Massage your hamstrings for a quick second. Do a little shake, do a little wiggle, do a little dance, and chill. Okay. Now, we're going to go in reverse hip cars. Pretty much all the movements are the same, but we're going to do them backwards. We're going to bring this leg down and back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch right here in the front. We're going to lift that leg up to the side, try to get your ankle to your knee horizontal. We're going to rotate the ankle up, bring the knee down. Then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to bring the knee up, bring the ankle down. We're going to bring the whole leg forward. I'm going to do these facing you so it's easier to mirror. Don't worry if you didn't remember all the pieces. You'll figure it out as we go. Cool? Let's go. Stand up nice and straight. Keep that core nice and tight. And breathe. Okay, let's do this back. Oh, I kicked the furniture. Hold on. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 2. Can't kick the dog back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down, knee. That's 3. I'm going to cheat this at a slight angle so I don't kick the furniture. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 4. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 5. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 6. Keep going. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 7. Keep going. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 8, 2 more back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 9, last one back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 10. Oh man, these hip cars are getting progressively more tiring. Do a little shake, wiggle out your hips, put that mobility that we're building to work. The hip cars are all about taking your leg, using your own muscles to get into these deeper ranges of motion so you build strength and mobility at the same time. All right, hopefully, taking a couple seconds to catch your breath. And now you're mentally prepared for our final hip car. All right, let's go. We're going in reverse, same as the one that we just finished. Bring the leg down and back. Lift to the side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 1. We're doing 9 more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 2. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 3. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 4. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 5. 5 more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 6. 4 more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 7. 3 more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 8. 2 more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 9. Last one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 10. Oh man, those are our hip cars. All right. If you're just joining in, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice a little bit of consistency, to build a little bit of community, and to make all the suffering we're about to do, all the suffering we've already been done, a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, so that it's easier to practice consistency. So if you like side splits, if you like hip mobility, if you need a little bit of help practicing consistency, this is the show for you. We are here live every day at 9 p.m. Eastern. Whew. That's the spiel. Let's get into warm up exercise number 2. I got a question. How are you doing? I'm good. I'm kind of tired. We just did a bunch of hip crunch. We're going to move on into our second warm up exercise. All right. It's called the elephant walk. What I want you to do is fold at the hips, bring your belly button down, whew, like so. You're going to feel some tension building in your hamstring, and you might feel a little bit of tension in your low back. Just chill. Inhale, exhale. Let your body drape over onto the floor. Inhale, exhale, drape. Whew. Relax. From here, we're going to add a little bit of movement. All right, try to straighten out your back a little bit, and then bend one knee, straighten out the other leg, fold, bring our belly button down towards the ground. Cool? We're going to switch the knee that is bent. We're going to go back and forth. We're going to keep on switching back and forth until I tell you otherwise. There isn't an exact number we're going to do. I'm just going to talk to you and tell you things about anatomy for a little bit until I decide it's about time. Keep switching legs. Keep on trying to bring your belly button down. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. After a little bit, you might notice there's some tension in your calves. After a little bit, you might notice there's some tension in your toes, some tingliness in your toes. You might feel a little bit of a pull in your glutes, in your butt. Those are all relatively normal. Okay? Just take a second and breathe in between. Don't hold your breath. Keep going. Keep on trying to bring that belly button down. Notice if your belly button is getting closer to the ground. And at this point, we've done a bunch of these. So, one last time, try to focus on folding just a little bit deeper into the stretch from wherever you're at. And let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. That's it. Pop into a little bit of a squat. Come on back into standing. That is our second warm up exercise. We're going to jump into warm up exercise number 3. We're going to get into some thoracic rotations. Thoracic rotation looks a little bit like this. You're rotating the middle chunk of your spine is just below your neck and pretty much around your belly button. So this chunk right here. All right. I want you to get back into the position we were just in. So one leg is bent, one leg is straight, our belly button is folded down into the ground. All right. From here, we're going to take the hand from the bent knee side. We're going to reach across to the straight leg. We're going to push off that straight leg. We're going to open up our chest. Stick the other arm up into the air. We're going to rotate our neck to look at that hand. And then I want you to breathe. All right. On the inhale, don't do anything. But on the exhale, I want you to try and reach a little further back over your shoulder. You ready to go? Let's go. Inhale. Exhale. Whew, that is half a rep. Other side. This leg is bent. This leg is straight. Arm is coming across to the straight leg side, opening it up. Looking at that hand. The neck is rotated. Inhale. Exhale. Whew, that is 1 rep in total. All right, we did one on the left, one on the right. We're gonna do 5 of these all together. So let's get ready for number 2. I'm gonna explain one more time. Bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg, across, open. Look at the hand. Inhale, exhale, reach. Whew, that's 2. Other side. Inhale, exhale, reach. That's 2. Keep going. 3 and 3. Whew. Hopefully, after every rep, you're finding that you're getting a little tiny bit deeper into your stretch. We got 2 more to go. 4 and 5. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg across the body. Open up, inhale, exhale, and reach. That's 4 and 4, and last one, 5. Exhale and reach. Whew. Those are thoracic rotations. That is our third warm-up exercise. Hopefully your back is feeling a little bit looser. Some of those muscles might be feeling a little bit weird because you haven't done so much rotation in a while. That's okay. Just try to add a little bit of movement. Move that spine. Do a couple of body rolls and see if that helps. Whew. If your shoulders are a little bit tired from reaching back behind you because you don't use your shoulders for very much, that's okay. We don't need them for anything else for the rest of the show either. Okay? We're going to move on into our fourth and final warm up exercise. It is called the Cossack switch. It looks a little bit like this. We're going to drop down on one side. So you're doing a squat here and basically a side split on the other side. All right? Then we're going to go boom to the other side and then boom back. For most of us, our ankles, our knees, our hips are not going to be ready for that right away. So what I want you to do is warm up for our warm up. All right, we got pre-warm up. All of us, I want you to come back into standing for a second from wherever you're at. Slowly come on down into a squat and chill here for a little bit. All right, try to bring your chest down to your leg. Pull your leg in and see if you can do a cannonball. You're jumping into an imaginary pond, an imaginary lake, and you're feeling that stretch in your Achilles tendon, in your calves. You are folding deep into your stretch. Breathe, chill, relax. Your heels don't have to be down, all right? For my more mobile ankle peoples, if your ankles are up, you're probably going to feel a little bit more of a stretch in your Achilles tendon and in your calves, and we want that. Cool? All right. If you've been chilling here for a little bit, we're going to add a little bit of movement. All right. Just a little gentle warm up, a little movement for your knees, your ankles, your hips. If you put one knee a little bit lower to the ground, you pull the other knee back, sort of rotate that hip, and then do the opposite. Turn it into a little dance move, do a little shimmy, do a little dance. Open up one leg, open up the other leg, bring the legs together, do both at the same time, and just add a little bit of movement to get your ankles, your knees, your hips ready. If your legs are getting tired, if something feels really uncomfortable, feel free to stop right here. All right. And if you're ready for a little bit more, let's get into Cossack switches. Okay. What I want you to do from wherever you're at is stick your hands straight down into the ground. Nothing fancy. You don't have to go forward. You don't have to go back. Just straight down into the ground. We're going to extend the other leg out to the side so that the heel is down. This isn't that important. It's just a temporary thing. And then, boom, this foot It's also got its heel down. The heel down is important for stability, so make sure to drop it. And we're in this kind of position. You might be a little bit higher up. That's okay. If you're comfortable, if you're able to, see if you can get a little bit deeper. And when you're as deep as you can get, wherever that may be, our next step is to bring our butt that way. So if you're low enough, use your hands, help yourself over, waddle, 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 over to the other side, and boom, here we are. We're at the other end. Come on back. Boom. That is 1 rep. We're gonna do 10 of these in total, so there's 9 more. Let's keep going. Use your hands, support yourself, scoop your butt all the way over to the other side. If you're strong enough, you don't have to take as many tiny little steps. You can take your time with like 1 or 2 or 3 pushes off the ground. I think this is number 3, by the way. If you realize you don't need to use your hand, you're so strong and badass, feel free to skip your hands. Keep going from side to side. And I think this is 4. If you are ready for something even more difficult, you don't have to be, by the way, you can stick with the basics. If you're ready for something more, you can try and sit up a little straighter so that your chest is going and your head is going straight up into the ceiling and keep going. You might want to stick your arms out to help counterbalance your weight. That's 5. And 6. At this point, if your knees are getting a little bit achy, we got a different variation you can do to take some pressure off the knee. You can come up a little bit, come across, come down, and up, and across, and down. That's 7. Keep going. Up, across, down, up, across, down. That's 8. We got 2 more left, and we got some other options. All right. If one of these versions has felt particularly good, feel free to stick with that one. But if you're ready for something else, for some variety, the spice of life, we're going to do some squats. All right. I want you to power off of that bent leg, come into some sort of position that looks like you're standing, and then slowly come down deep into the other leg. And then power up. That is 9. One more. Come on down, take your time, breathe, sink into that stretched out position at the bottom, and power through. Boom. That's 10. Final leg. 10. And that is our Cossack switches, our Cossack slidey things, and our Cossack squats. That is us finishing up our warm up. All right. If you're just joining in and you're like, what? That's the warm up. What's coming up next? Because that was really hard. Don't worry. This is a stretching and hip mobility show. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side splits and hip mobility. We do this every single day to practice the number one most important quality, consistency. So if you like hip mobility, if you need to work on your side splits because you think they're cool and you need help with consistency, keep coming back to this live. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern every single day, which means we started about 22 minutes ago. It is that time every day, Monday through Sunday. All right. Oh, it doesn't even matter if it's Memorial Day. We're going to be here at 9 p.m. All right. I think that's the pitch. So we're going to get back into the first stretch. All right. The first stretch is the hamstring stretch. The way we set it up looks like this. We're going to drop one knee to the ground. We're going to extend one leg in front. And we're going to fold the belly button down to the thigh. This looks like this. I recommend you guys go grab a little padding for your knees. Okay? Doesn't have to be fancy. If you have a couch cushion, a decorative pillow, if you have dirty laundry, you can just roll it up, stick it under your knee. If you have a flip flop, you can just drop it right there, rest your knee on top of it, and you're ready to go. Okay? Whew. Let's go. First thing we're going to do is extend one leg in front. I don't want this leg to be way out in front. I want you to suck the leg in so that it looks a little like this. All right? Not way crazy out like this. All right? Suck it in. From here, we're folding forward. We're bringing the belly button down to the thighs. Whee! Ugh. As soon as you get stuck, you don't have to keep pushing. Pause. Inhale. And let your body flop over that leg. Relax. Whew. One more. Inhale. Relax. Whew. Should be feeling that tension in your hamstrings, but your upper body should also be relatively relaxed. All right? We're going to add a little bit of movement now. What I want you to do is bend the leg, bring your chest down, try and touch that leg with your chest, and then slowly straighten out that leg again and keep your chest as low as you can. And when it has to separate, it has to separate. That's okay. All right. One more. Knee up, chest down, straighten. Knee up, chest down, straighten. Keep going. Knee up, chest down, straighten. I think that's 4. One more. Knee up, chest down, straighten. Whew. Now that you've moved your hamstrings a little bit more, hopefully you're feeling a little bit looser, we're going to get a little bit deeper into our stretch. All right. Next thing we're going to do is called the inhale, exhale, fold. We're going to take this big breath in on the inhale. We're going to slowly exhale a whole bunch of air. And while we're exhaling, we're going to focus on bringing the belly button down to the thigh. We're going to contract a whole bunch of muscles. You ready? Let's do this. Big inhale. Slow exhale and fold. Whew. When you get stuck, feel free to stop and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Let your body drape over that leg. One more inhale. Exhale. That body drape over that leg, and we're going to add a little bit of movement. All right. Take note of where your leg is, where your chest is, where your belly button is right now. And then we're going to bend. Bend the knee. Bring the chest down. Straighten it out. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. I'm talking fast. That does not mean you have to move fast. All right. Take it as slow as you'd like. Take it as deep as you'd like. Oh, and whew, once you've moved those muscles a little bit, we're going to get ready to go a little bit deeper. All right. Inhale, exhale, fold. One more. Last one. I promise. At least for this leg. Big inhale. Slowly exhale and fold. Fold, 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 fold. Bring that belly button down. Your hamstrings are in a super deep stretch now. Take your fingers, stab them into your hamstrings, massage them, poke them, prod them, distract your brain from how intense that stretch is, and we're ready to go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Keep trying to bring the belly button down. If you want, you can do the inhale, relax we were doing before. Inhale, relax. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Slowly come on out of that hamstring stretch. Bring your ankles in. Oh, lift your chest up. Whew. We're going to get ready to switch. All right. Grab that flip flop, grab that cushion, whatever you're using to pad your knee. Switch which knee is on it, and let's get ready to go. Extend the other leg out in front. Stand up nice and straight, or I guess kneel up nice and straight. Get ready to fold. Bring that belly button down to the thigh. All right. Let's go. Whee! Oh, as soon as you get stuck, we're going to inhale and we're going to relax. Let the body flop over that leg. You ready? Let's go. Inhale. Relax. Let your body drape over the leg. One more. Inhale. Relax. Let that body drape over that leg. You might already be noticing that one leg is more flexible than the other, and you're going, ooh, hoo, hoo, maybe on this leg. We're going to add the movement in. All right. We're going to do the knee bend, chest down, straighten, knee bend, chest down, straighten, knee bend, chest down, straighten, knee bend, chest down, straighten. We'll do one more. Knee bend, chest down, straighten. That's about 5. Next, we're going to do the inhale, exhale, fold. We're going to try and get a little bit deeper into the stretch. Okay, let's go. Inhale, exhale, and fold. Whew. Once you're a little bit deeper into the stretch, remember the first thing we do is relax. Inhale, relax. Let your body drape over the leg. One more. Inhale, relax. Let your body drape over the leg. Pause here for a second. Whew. And let's move. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten. I think that's 4. One more. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten. And that is 5. We're going to take it a little bit deeper if you're able to. All right. We're going to inhale, exhale, fold. Last time. Let's go. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold.
Whew. Oh, ho, ho. Inhale, relax. 30 seconds. We're going to count it down. Everything else is optional at this point. All right, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. If you want, you can do some more. Inhale, relax. 23, 22, 21, 20. Feel free to bend the knee, chest down, straight it out. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Walk your hands back up. Oh, bring your leg in underneath you. Oh, that is our hamstring stretch. We just finished the first of our 5 stretches. We're going to move right on into our second stretch. It is called the butterfly stretch. All right? You can get rid of the flip flop. You can get rid of the cushion. You don't need it anymore. What we're going to do is bring our butt up against the wall and take our low back, our shoulders, our head all up against the wall. I am obviously not against a wall. I have a big wooden cabinet dresser thing, chest. Just bring your back up against something stable that you can lean against and you're ready to begin. All right. Next, we're taking our feet, we're bringing them together, we're pulling those feet into the groin, and we're in our starting position. This is the butterfly stretch. What I want you to do is do your best to bring your knees down into the ground. That is basically all we're doing for the next minute or so. I want you to use your muscles to start doing it first. All right. I want you to try to use your glutes. I want you to try to use your outer thighs. I want you to flex them, contract them, and see if you can bring your knees down using your own muscle power. When you have tried your bestest and you realize you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's okay. Focus on 2 things. Focus on the groin stretch. If it's getting more intense, you're probably using the right muscles. If you see your knees going a little deeper into the ground, you're probably using the right muscles, and we're good to continue. All right. Next, we're going to take our hands. We're going to apply a little bit of pressure here on the inside of that thigh. We're going to try and push the legs straight down into the ground to help open up these legs. All right. You're going to feel some pressure in the back of your head. That is okay. That is totally normal. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27. As we breathe, as we exhale, I want you to see if you can push your legs down a little bit deeper on that exhale. All right. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep going. Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Slowly let your hands go. Reduce the pressure on your legs. Shake out your wrists if they're a little bit tired, and then try to lift your knees up a little bit. All right. Oh, let them back down. Bring them back up. Let them back down. Bring them back up. Let them back down. Bring them back up. And flap the wings of your butterfly. This dog is staring at me like, what the heck is going on with this human? I've never seen these movements before. I didn't know humans can move like this. Hello. I think she wants pets. All right. Once your legs are moving and everything is feeling okay, we're going to come back up into standing, all right, and get into our third stretch, the standing pancake. Slowly come back into standing. Shake out your hips, do a little movement, wiggle, 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 hula hoop, flop around, and let's get ready to do some standing pancake. First thing I want you to do is open up your legs a little bit wide. Doesn't have to be crazy. If you can hit about 60 degrees, equilateral triangle style, we're good to go. All right. If your hips are hurting right now, they're very uncomfortable, there's a pinching pain here, either in both or one of the hips, bring your legs in together just a little bit. All right. From here, we're ready to fold. Bring that belly button down to the ground. Wee. Ugh. As soon as you get stuck, this is our starting position. Okay? From the side, it looks a little bit like this. We are folding that belly button down towards the ground. Our legs are a little bit wide, and the goal of the pancake is to fold our upper body in between our legs. All right? It is really hard. It requires a lot of practice and a lot of flexibility. So, we're going to do this version, where gravity helps us a ton. All right? When your upper body is folded out like this, gravity gets to pull on the whole thing, and it feels a lot more intense than if you were sitting down on your butt. Okay? So, take advantage. Inhale, exhale, relax, fall a little bit deeper into the stretch. If you're ready for a little bit more difficult version, you can stick your biceps so that they're by your ears and extend your arms. All right? Inhale, exhale. Let gravity pull you a little bit deeper. If you're ready for more, you can hold something in your hands and extend it out, and that'll be crazy. All right? That is up to you. Second thing you can change right now is you can widen your stance. You can bring your legs out a little bit further if you want, and keep going. Try your best to hold yourself in a nice stable position. Keep on folding, getting lower to the ground, and we're holding this for 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26. Remember, the goal is to bring the belly button to the ground. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down on the ground. Give yourself a little bit of support. Oof. Come on out of that stretch. If your inner thighs are really fried right now and your legs don't want to move, wiggle your toes in towards the center of your body, wiggle your heels in towards the center of your body, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in until your feet are basically underneath you. And then you can slowly walk your hands up your leg, slowly come back into standing. That is our standing pancake. You should be feeling that stretch in two main places. One, in the hamstrings, because you're doing that crazy forward fold, right? Anytime you fold forward and it's coming while your hips are coming down, you're going to get into a deep hamstring stretch. Doesn't matter if your legs are together, you're just trying to touch your toesies, or if your legs are apart and you're trying to do the pancake. Your hamstrings are going to cry and they'll let you know they're getting stretched, all right? The other place you're going to be feeling that stretch is your inner thighs. And that's what happens when you widen your stance. All right. When you widen your stance, they're getting stretched, but that's not the only thing that's happening. These muscles are also going to be contracting. They're contracting to keep you from falling into a deeper stretch. Your brain is automatically going to kick in and go, hey, this is dangerous. I don't like this. And it's going to turn on these muscles to keep you from getting into a deeper stretch. When you hang out here, when you hold this position, you're basically forcing that contraction to hold up your whole entire body weight. All right. That is going to get tired and you're going to feel the burn when you're doing it. There's a pro to this general con of your whole leg is tired, and that is you're building strength at the same time. That strength gives you control, and that control is what lets your brain chill out, lets you get into deeper stretches. All right? So, if you're ready to move on, I'm ready to move on. Let's move on into stretch number 4. We are doing, I think, the pigeon today. I'm pretty sure we did the figure 4 last night. But as I'm saying this, I really can't remember. I should just write this down after every show. We're going to do the pigeon, regardless. The pigeon and the figure 4 are the options that you get for stretch number 4. All right? They have the same fundamentals. You're going to take one leg, you're going to cross it over to the other side, you're going to bring that leg up to your belly button, you're going to bring your belly button down to the leg. Something like this. From the side, it looks like you're just folding down to your leg. You're going to be feeling a stretch out here in the side of your hip. That is a glute muscle. You're going to feel a stretch here in the hamstrings, and you might feel something right here in the front of the hip where you're actually doing the fold. The main difference between the figure 4 and the pigeon is one, you're lying down and you're pulling your leg in, and the other one, you are letting gravity pull your chest down to the leg. All right? So let's look at this pigeon in a little bit more detail. If you're a regular, feel free to jump into whichever version you like. No need to do the pigeon with me. All right? Let's come on down to the floor. and we're going to take a look at what's going on with this leg. First, it's coming across our body. All right. And we're trying to get this middle line right here between our eyes down to our belly button. We're trying to fold it down to the midpoint between our knee and our ankle. Sort of like here. Boom. That is the basics of a pigeon stretch. All right. What are we doing with this other leg? This leg, you can kind of just forget about it if you want. If you want to just extend it out to the side and focus on this forward fold in the pigeon, great. If you want to have this leg bent off to the side and you're doing the forward fold, great. Whichever one makes you feel more comfortable. However, there is a slightly more advanced version of the pigeon where instead of just letting it rest off to the side, you extend the leg behind you. All right. I'm going to scoot myself way over here so you can see that the leg is behind me. A lot of the time, people will struggle with this position because they don't have enough flexibility in the hip to get that leg to go all the way back. There's two quick fixes for this. The first one is stop trying to sit up so straight, fold forward a little bit. When your whole body is a little bit straighter, it will be easier for you to have less pressure in the hip and therefore less pressure on the knee. That might make things super easy. Tip number two is to elevate the front leg. All right. I'm going to elevate it real high to show you just how much of a difference it makes. If you elevate that front leg, your hips are going to come up way high off the ground, and then this back leg is going to have a ton of room to go wherever it needs to go. All right. So you're still able to do that whole stretch where you're trying to bring this middle line down to the midpoint between your knee and your ankle while bring that leg back, feeling a stretch. All right. So whatever version you get into is completely up to you. You don't have to use whatever height this is. You can use a coffee table, you can use a couch, you can use your bed, you can use a stool, a chair. As long as it's stable, as long as it will support you, as long as it is comfortable, you're ready to go. All right, let's get going. Leg is across the front of our body. Again, we're hitting that midpoint between the knee and the ankle with the middle line through our body. Extend the leg behind us, fold forward. Your hips are low first, and then your chest comes down afterwards. All right, 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. I want you to keep breathing. I want you to exhale and relax and sink a little bit deeper into the stretch every time you exhale. Drop the belly button low. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is a pigeon stretch. We're going to switch over to the other side, bring the other leg across, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right? Leg is coming across. We're finding that midpoint between the knee and the ankle. We're going to try our best to line up our upper body so that the middle line is coming down to that midpoint on the leg. And if you're ready, extend the leg back behind you, fold forward, keep the hips low, drop the stomach and chest afterwards. 30 seconds, let's do it. 29, 28, 27, 26, keep breathing. Exhale, sink a little deeper into the stretch, relax those muscles. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on out of that stretch. That is our pigeon stretch. We've done 4 of the 5 stretches in our show. And at this time, I should probably remind you what we're doing these for. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering that we put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, a little easier to stay consistent with. So if you like hip mobility, if you like side splits, if you need a little bit of help practicing consistency, this is a show for you. All right, we start the show at 9 p.m. Eastern every single day, which means we started about 43 minutes ago. And then it's that time every single day, Monday through Sunday, that we are here practicing live. Okay? I think it's time to get into our fifth and final stretch. By the way, you should hit follow and subscribe. I forgot to end with that. We're going to get into our fifth and final stretch. We're doing some side splits. If you've never done side splits before, don't worry. I'm going to break it down into small little pieces, and you'll be able to get as deep as you can get. All right? Let's get ready to go. Come on. I want you to pretend I don't have this big wooden chest thing right here. I want you to pretend that it is just a normal wall, okay? And I want you to bring your butt up against the wall. And I want you to have your whole body basically touching the wall right now, all right? From here, we're gonna take half a step forward in front of that wall. And then we're gonna open up our legs, all right? If you are feeling a pinching sensation in your hips, you've gone too far, bring your legs back in just a little bit. Until that pinching sensation is gone, you can move a little bit, and we're ready to continue with the next step. We're folding our belly buttons down to the ground. Fold, 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 fold some more, fold again, keep folding, wee! And when you are as deep as you can fold, try to touch the ground. See if you can palm it. If you can, great, amazing. You can probably not use a prop or not use something to hold you up. But if you cannot, and you're feeling like it was a little stressful, you don't want to work super hard right now, you can elevate your hands with a stool, a couple of textbooks, a coffee table, a chair, something to help give your arms a little support to take some weight off of your legs. All right, you can do it with your hands. You're just probably going to have to fold forward a little bit deeper. If you have something to support your hands, it might be a little bit easier. Okay, optional. From here, we are going to widen our legs and we're going to rotate them. All right. You know how earlier I said if your hips were hurting, bring your legs together? We're going to open up our legs way wider. So, how come it's not hurting right now? When your hips are in an angled position like this, it's going to be much easier for you to get into a deep side split. Okay. So, what I want you to do is rotate your legs. What we're going to do looks a little bit like this. We're going to drop the heel down, point the toe up, and point the knee up. Okay? And we're going to do the same on the other side. Heels down, toes up, knees up. The reason we're doing this is we're rotating the thigh bone so that it does not smash into our hip bones. Okay? When you're here and you got your hand supporting on the stool, we're going to slowly try and drop a little bit deeper into our stretch. Okay? Rest your butt against the wall for a little bit of support back there. Put your hands on your hand support for that support here. And slowly sink a little deeper into your stretch. Inhale, exhale. See if you can go a little deeper. Inhale, exhale. Relax. See if you can go a little bit deeper. Do a little wiggle to the right, little wiggle to the left, little wiggle to the right, little wiggle to the left to see if you can just a little tiny bit deeper. And that is our side split. All right. If you're ready, we're going to count down. We're going to hold this for about 30 seconds and we'll be done with side split number one. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Right now, your butt should be gently resting against the wall. You should be trying your best to sit up a little bit straighter, putting as much weight into your hips as you can handle and letting gravity pull you down. All right. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. If at any time you feel like you can go a little bit deeper now into your stretch, feel free to take that depth. Get a little wiggle in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Walk your hands forward. Oh, pull your knees in underneath you. Grunt, groan. Make some sound effects as you suffer through coming out of that stretch. Oh, that is our first side split. We're doing 3 rounds of these, so we got 2 more to do. And in between each of these rounds, our legs are going to be super tense and stressed out. So what we're going to do is try our best to shake out the tension, get loose, get floppy, and come back into a deeper side split number 2. All right, come on up into standing. Oh, again, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. If you're waddling around like a drunk penguin right now, that's okay. We're gonna fix that with some shaky, shaky, shaky. All right. I want you to put all your weight into one leg, and I want you to shake out the other leg. Start with the ankle. Focus mostly on the ankle, and give it a little gentle shake. As you get more comfortable with this, you can shake a little harder. You can move a little bit further, and you can try to turn it into a more crazy looking shake. Right? The reason why we're shaking out the ankles is because all these muscles that work together to flex the foot, to point the toe, to do ankle circles, those muscles have to be relaxed in order for your feet to go into those positions that they're currently going into, right? Or at least relaxed enough to go into that crazy depth when you're shaking and flopping the leg. All right, that's what we want, relaxation. All right, other leg. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flap, 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 flap. Pretend you are loose, soggy, overcooked noodles and you're just flopping all over the place. That is what we're doing. Flopping it out, shaking it in. Take a couple of quick steps. See if your legs are feeling a little bit better, a little less drunk penguin-y. And if you're ready, we're going to move on into our hips. All right. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe of the other leg is down. We're going to focus on opening and rotating. All right. Bring the knee in, bring the knee out. Bring the knee in, bring the knee out. Bring the knee in, bring the knee out. You're building up strength in some of these hip muscles. And all that is happening is this thigh bone, where it connects into your hip, is doing all the work. It's doing all the rotating, right? The rest of the body is basically not moving at all. Once you've done a couple of those, you work some muscles, build some strength there. We're going to switch to the other side. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Once your hips are feeling a little bit looser, they might not be perfectly loose if you were super focused on maximizing the depth. You can start shaking out your legs, do a little wiggle, do a little flop, and as soon as your hips are feeling a little bit more relaxed, we're ready to jump into side split number 2. Okay? I promise I'll teach you what this is for in a little bit. We're going to put our butt up against the wall. We're going to take half a step forward away from it. Open up those legs nice and wide. Make sure there's no pain in the hips. And then we're going to fold. Bring that belly button down. From here, if your hands can reach the floor, great. Use them. If you cannot, or you just don't plain want to, feel free to elevate your hands with the stool with some hand support. Coffee tables, chairs, anything that is stable and can hold your weight will do. All right. From here, we're going to rotate our legs so that, boom, the heels are down, the toes are up, and the knees are pointing up. And we're going to get a little bit wider into our stretch. Inhale, exhale, sink a little deeper. Inhale, exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, exhale, sink a little bit deeper. From here, this is all optional, by the way. If you feel like you're stuck, feel free to just chill and hang out for a little bit. All right, we're going to push and lean one to the left, once to the right, another bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and see if we can get just a tiny bit deeper. Once you are as deep as you can get, we're ready to start side split number 2. What I want you to do this time, a little bit differently, is take one step forward, except that step is with your hands. You're just going to lean forward a little bit so it looks like you're about to do a push-up. All right? When you bring your whole body forward, your hips should follow you, and your knees, instead of pointing straight up, they might be pointing at a diagonal around 45-ish degrees, 50-ish, 60-ish degrees in a diagonal in front of you. That is what we want. When you do this, you're going to feel more of a stretch on your inner thighs, and we need this for our side splits. All right? So, you're in the right position. We're holding this for 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward. Oof. Bring your legs in underneath you. That is our second side split. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. Oh, bring your legs in underneath you, and that is our second side split. Chill for a second. Breathe, catch your breath. And we're going to get ready to come back up into standing. We're going to shake out the tension and get ready for side split number 3 to wrap this show up. All right, let's go. Come on up. Oh. And shake out the legs. Shake, 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 shake. Shake some more. Shakety, shake, 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 shake. Slowly pick up the intensity as you find it is comfortable for you. If you go 0 to 100 and you start to go crazy and your ankle starts hurting, then you've worked too hard and you've gone too far. All right? So take it nice and slow. Pick up the tempo, pick up the pace, pick up the intensity as you go and as you find it comfortable. Cool? Other leg. Shake, 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 shake. Whew. And when you're finding your legs are a little bit more loose, a little bit more mobile, feel free to do a little dance, do a little shimmy. Just double check your legs are working good. And we're ready to move on into our hips. All right. All right, weight is in one leg, big toe is down. This is what we did before. We're bringing the knee in, pushing the knee out, bring the knee in, pushing the knee out, bring the knee in, pushing the knee out. Working a whole bunch of muscles in our hip, getting strong with this general motion. Once you get a little bit more comfortable with these, you can start chaining them into cooler moves. All right. You can do some stanky leg, pull that leg in. You can rotate it back out. You can push that leg out, bring it in, push it 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 out. Have fun. We're building hip mobility. Put it to work. Once you own it, once you do cool things with it, you'll never lose it again. All right. Other side. All your weight is on one leg. Big toe is down. We're doing it in, out, in, out. Stick that leg out, bring it in, rotate it out, push it back out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Have fun with it. If that's not up your alley and you just want to focus on relaxing, here's some relaxation. All right. All your weight still in this leg. Extend that leg out to the side a little bit and start shaking out your legs. All right. You don't have to go as deep in or out as before. You can go somewhere in the middle. And when you have no pressure on this leg, the thigh muscles aren't going to kick in. They're going to be nice and loose. When they're loose and you start shaking back and forth real fast, your thighs are going to shake with it. It's going to look like it's made of jello. And that is the type of relaxation that we want. All right. You're shaking out this leg. Other leg. All your weight is one leg. Big toe is down. There's almost no weight in this leg so that it's easier to shake. And we're shaking, 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 shaking. Relaxing that leg. And that is our shaky, shaky, relaxy stuff part 2. All right. That means we're ready to get into side split number 3. Let's go. All your how to use and your body's butt against the wall. Take half a step forward, maybe one step in front of the wall. Open up those legs nice and wide. If you're ready, fold forward, bring the belly button down towards the ground. Put your hands on the ground if you can. If you cannot or you don't want to, use a little bit of support for your hands. I'm not at home, so I don't have a good support. I'm just going to have you imagine that I have one. All right. From here, we're going to externally rotate the legs, which means boom, heels down, toes up, knees up. And we're going to slowly come on down. Let your butt rest against the wall. Lean into it. It's your support. It's here to help you feel safe and secure. And breathe. Inhale. Relax. Sink a little deeper. Inhale. Relax. Sink a little bit deeper. If you're ready for more, do a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, and get a little bit deeper. This is side split number 3. You got options. You can do the first version where we're sitting up a little bit straighter and you felt more of it in your hamstrings. You can do the second version, which we just did, where you kind of get into that push-up position. You lean a little bit further forward and you feel the stretch more in your inner thighs. Which one you do is completely up to you. Just take 3 seconds to get into it, and we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. That was 3 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it. That is our side split stretch. Bring your knees in. Bring your legs in underneath you. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. And that is our third and final side split stretch. What we got next? We're gonna get back up. We're gonna shake out our limbs a little bit. We're gonna do a couple of quick joint checks just to make sure everything is working all right, and then we'll be done to do some Q&A. All right. If you're ready, come on up into standing. Let's shake out those ankles. Shake, 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 shake. As you do more of this relaxing, you're training your brain to relax on demand. These will come to you faster and faster and faster, and this is a real useful skill for everything else that you do. All right. Being able to relax on demand is just as important as being able to contract on demand. Most of the time, we only focus on the contraction part. Relaxing, the opposite, is how you chill out and save energy. All right. Oh, hopefully your legs are relaxed because we're going to move on to our hips. Let's go. All your weight in one leg, big toe is down, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Remember, you can always stick with the basics. You can take this up to a really fast speed, really quick tempo. You can turn this into a dance move too. You don't have to do all the fancy other stuff that we just did if you don't feel like it. All right. What else did we cover? We did the stanky leg with the graceful leg out thing. All right. Boom, 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 boom. We also did the leg shake. Shake, 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 shake. Start rotating your legs so fast, changing direction so fast. The soft, not tense muscles can't keep up, and they're just going. And you can combine everything that we learned into some crazy leg shakes in general. You don't have to do the relaxy, shaky, shaky stuff the way I teach it. All my little pieces are just to help you combine things that I really want you to be able to do, right? This, I want you to have some strength and some control for. So now we kind of added into the leg shake. You don't have to have that in if you don't like it very much. You can just focus on flopping and shaking out the leg and maybe adding in the rotation like this, right? It's the same thing. This thing is this thing is this thing. And once you know how to use it, you'll be able to figure out all these different ways of moving your hips around. That's all we care about. Cool? All right, where are we going with this? It's time to do some joint checks. What I want you to do is slowly just go through some hip circles, nice and slow. Push through your hips and see if there's anything that feels crazy tight and needs a little bit of extra attention and love. Right after side splits, I tend to feel a little bit of tension here on the left and right side, so I like to give it a little bit more time. If you feel the same way, feel free to do exactly what I'm doing. If you feel it somewhere else, maybe you feel it in your low back and you want to lean forward instead, feel free to do that. All right. Once you've done a couple of quick circles that way and quick circles the other way, and you're feeling a little bit better, we're going to move on to a quick high knee. If your knees come up, we're ready to continue. Next, I want you to do some calf raises from a squatting position. All right. I want you to bring your feet so that your feet are right under your hips, not super close and not super wide, just pretty neutral right underneath your hips. All right. From here, we're going to pop into a squat. Come on down to the ground. And here we are. Next, what I want you to focus on is bring your chest down to your thighs. All right. You can bring your butt up a little bit if you want as well. And what I want you to feel like is happening is that you're leaning forward towards falling that way. All right. When you're feeling that way, I want you to push your knees so that the knees are past the toes, also going that way. It'll really add to your feeling like you're about to tip over. When you feel like you're about to tip over, your toes are going to kick in. They're going to grip the floor and try to hold you stable. All right, that's what we want. When that happens, the arch of your foot should also kick in to keep your foot nice and strong so that it can keep you from tipping over. Exactly what we want. Once you're in this position, we're ready to do some calf raises. All right, stick your hands down if you need the support. Don't if you don't. And come on up. Lift those heels as high as you can. Slowly come down with control. Come on up. Come on down. Come on up. come on down, keep going. Do as many as you can. And when your legs are feeling super tired, whether it's your calves or your quads or even your low back, we're ready to stop and come rest and talk about what we just did. All right. When you do those moves, when you're leaning super far forward, your toes should grip the floor and create an arch. So your whole foot is getting activated with that forward lean. When your knees are forward, you're going to feel a nice, crazy stretch in your Achilles tendon right here. You're going to feel some tension in the calves. When we do the calf raise, the calves are going to contract. It's going to be crazy as well. And the quads were holding us up the whole entire time, so they were firing and going crazy the whole time. When you're folding forward like this and you're supporting your back, your low back is kicking in, trying to hold you stable. And that is a combination of a whole bunch of tendons, a whole bunch of joints, a whole bunch of muscles working really closely together to help you stay stable, to help you move. And it's a good sign your joints are doing pretty good. All right. So if you were able to pull most of those things off, chances are you're ready to go back to doing whatever else you have to do for the rest of the day. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, practicing a little bit of consistency, working on your side splits, working on your hip mobility with me this evening. I hope you had fun. Hope you're starting to cool down. And I hope you're proud that you checked off another round of side splits and consistency. All right. I'm going to solve this quick TikTok puzzle because TikTok thinks I'm a bot. And I'm going to look at some Q&A. I don't know if I have anything else I need to just. Oh, I just released a YouTube video. Um, and it is about some knee kind of stuff that I've been doing, or that I did last year to help with a little bit of knee pain in my left knee. I have not done that workout in about 10 months, and the knee thing is starting to nag me again. But there was a moment in time about a year ago where I did 2 months of working out, I think 3 times a week or 2 times a week, so 5 times every 2 weeks. And the pain completely went away for about 10 months after I did 2 months worth of exercise. And I'm going to get back into it. So I decided to make a quick video introducing you to 4 exercises that work real well for strengthening muscles around your knee, around your legs, that will help support your knee in movements that it's doing. So if you're interested in that video, that is over on YouTube, and you should go definitely check it out. The username on YouTube is at splits on the side, so the same username as on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, if you're on YouTube, you're already on YouTube, so you can just click into the profile and go find it. It just came out a couple hours ago, so check it out. Cool. All right, I'm gonna look at Q&A. Ooh. Oh, also, hit follow and hit subscribe if you like side splits, hip mobility, and consistency. Those are the 3 things that we care about right here on this live. We care so much about consistency. I come and do this live 9 times a week. 7 of those times are at 9 p.m. every single day, and 2 of those times are at 9 a.m. Eastern time for all of those on the weekends, Saturday morning and Sunday morning. Sunny just asked, do you go live at any other time? On Saturday and Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern, I also go live. But for the most part, it's 9 p.m. Eastern, which means we started an hour and 6 minutes ago. Cool? All right. Triple Cheeseburger says, glad I made it in for 20-ish minutes. Thanks. Awesome. Oh, man, you made it in for like the hardest 20-ish minutes. We dropped into like pancake, pigeon, and then side splits. that's that's rough. But I'm glad you're here, and I hope you took it nice and easy for yourself so that you stay functional and not in a whole bunch of pain. Triple Cheeseburger says, yeah, I couldn't do it at all. I couldn't do it all. That totally makes sense. That's fine. The reason why we spend so much time warming up is because the very ending couple of pieces are really challenging. So coming in for the last couple minutes is going to be really difficult. Whew. Yo, Rick is asking why my lives don't have more people. I honestly don't know. It's not from the lives that I get people on YouTube. YouTube's algorithm for lives does not support me in my content at all. On the other hand, TikTok does way better. Um, we peaked at like 250 something people over on TikTok's live earlier today. I only saw it for half a second because I was close enough to see this tiny number on the phone. Right now we're at like 48. But yeah, the YouTube live never really has that many people. Most of the people who subscribe from YouTube Shorts. I basically release a YouTube short or a TikTok or a Instagram reel pretty much every single day. And on each of the platforms, they perform very differently. If we're trying to analyze it for some reason. Um, Tik YouTube numbers on Shorts is actually way better than my TikTok numbers on Shorts on average. And on average, both TikTok and YouTube perform way better than Instagram for basically the same video. So I don't know why that is. Everybody's algorithm is a little different. And for TikTok, a lot of people come in through the live and hit follow or subscribe or whatever the term is for that platform. And on YouTube, a lot of people come in from the shorts. So the way people interact with the content just ends up being very different. I think it's because TikTok supports the live functionality way more than YouTube does on their end for this version of live. So if you're curious, that's pretty much all the information I can give you about the backend. Samsung says hello, everyone. Welcome back, Samsung. Queen RR says hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And that looks like it's everything over on YouTube. So let's hop into TikTok. Sunny says maybe I can join the 9 a.m. on the weekends because that's 1 p.m. for you. Yes. Wow, you are super early. It's 3 a.m. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Oh, so you're like in the UK time zone. Okay, got it. Um, Yeah, uh, I would prefer if you rested and took care of your health for the long term way more than I care about you coming to this live and showing up for side splits. So if you're, feeling guilty that you're not asleep right now, you should definitely go to bed and you can feel free to come back in on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. We're at 9 a.m. and that is 1 p.m. for you. Cool. All right. What else we got? What else we got? We got a thank you, good night from Chevelle. Thank you, thank you. And I'm gonna scroll real fast up the chat and see what else we got left. I'm looking for questions, comments, things that I can help answer. And if I see anything cool along the way, I'll address them. Josh Tree says, "Hey Ken," sends a wave. Welcome back, Josh. It's been a couple of days. Good to see you. Che says, "I do Q&A at the end of the show." Somebody asked, how do I fix having tight hip flexors if I'm hypermobile? What stretches could I do to prevent? If you have tight hip flexors and you're hypermobile. For a lot of people who have tight hip flexors, it tends to be that their hip flexors aren't very strong. Since you're adding into that sentence that you're hypermobile, I'm going to assume that is because your hip flexors are not very strong. To strengthen the hip flexors, there are a bunch of exercises. The easy one you can do pretty much from anywhere is this thing where you focus on lifting your leg up in front of you and holding it up, or a combination of folding your chest down and lifting your leg up. For most people, it'll be much easier to just focus on lifting your leg up, holding it, breathing, chilling, holding it some more, lifting some more, holding, lifting, holding, lifting, and doing some combination of that to strengthen this muscle in the front that is the hip flexor. Cool. Um, Give that a try to start. You can do these sort of as like an isometric. If you can focus on contracting and lifting your leg up as high as you can and holding it for as long as you can while keeping your body relatively upright and straight. Because if you lean super far back, it'll look like your leg is coming up. But if you sit up real straight, perhaps against the wall, and you can't go backwards and you try to lift that leg, you might find it doesn't go very high. That is because your back has nowhere to go to help you cheat and make it look higher. Okay, if you can try your best to hold it for as long as possible. If you figure out the time is about 15 seconds, you can probably aim for 10 to 12 seconds, probably closer to 12 seconds, and just try to hold 12 seconds or as close to 12 seconds for reps. And the first time that you do the rep, you do the test to figure out what your maximum, your like craziest all-in invested version is. You only have to do that once every once in a while, and then for a little bit you can just focus on doing the 12, right? That should get you started, and if you got more questions, then come back after you've done a couple of sets of those and see if that helps. Cool. All right. Oh, keep scrolling. What else we got? What else we got? We got hellos. True Blue says, "Is there lag for anyone else?" I think I saw a couple of messages over at the top of the screen that said that my internet was unstable today and that it was probably going to be laggy. So, unfortunately, yes, there's probably lag today. But it seems like the live did relatively well despite it. So, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. True Blue says helps with mobility. What did True Blue ask? Hold on, I'm scrolling. What does the exercise do? Most of the exercises that we do are trying to help us get into better positions for our hips. All right. We do a whole bunch of them. Most of them are applicable to pretty much 99% of people, right? All of our warm up exercises are going to be really good for most people. Hip cars is lifting your leg, opening up your hip, rotating your leg down and up, bring the leg down and back behind you. Those will always be valuable. If you get to a really crazy level of depth, like you can do a whole bunch of splits in all directions, maybe the splits aren't that useful for your average person because you don't need to be that deep, but they look cool, okay? And the other things we do, like the elephant walk, is just hamstrings, learning how to fold forward, always useful. And a lot of the other stuff we're doing are some sort of deep squat, kind of a side split, getting real low on the ground, getting comfortable with the ground. And that is generally what hip mobility is all about. If you like the side split stuff. You want to work towards the side splits. As you get super deep, you start getting further and further away from things that normal people actually need to be able to do and into, more of a hobby thing. But pretty much up until that point, when you're getting super deep in your side splits, you're just moving a little bit better, getting a little stronger in your hips. And your hips tie together your upper body and your lower body, right? When your hips aren't mobile, when your hips are not strong, oftentimes your low back compensates a little bit. So if you have a lot of low back pain and you are in a position that kind of looks like this all the time, strengthen your hips, working on your hips so that you can sort of change the way your body is angled might be helpful. Cool. The inverse and that is there are a lot of people who rest like this, right? They look like they have a belly even though they don't really have a belly because their hips are doing this when they're resting position. And then when they're slouched over, they look kind of like this. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm sure you all know somebody who stands and looks a little bit like this when they stand. When they're talking, when they're chilling, when they're telling a story, they kind of look like this. That is a sign that your hips are doing this or this, and the hip mobility that we do is just helping you learn to be more conscious, strengthen those muscles so that you can be aware of the positions that you get yourself into. And if you want to address them, you at least know what exercises you can start working towards. Cool? All right. Oh, let's start scrolling a little faster up to the top and see what else we got. Irene says, let's cook. Gracias. Che says, do what you can slowly and carefully. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the question that was being answered was, do these exercises, oh no, I think the question was, do these exercises work for women? And the answer was, these exercises work for both men and women. Yes, that is correct. Is this for men only? No, it is not for men only. Solo para hombres. Okay, así, así. I did not see any of those questions until just now. So, thankfully, somebody else answered for me. Thank you so much, everybody. All right, we are almost done here. I'm gonna scroll down. Blesum says thank you again. Send some hearts. Thank you, thank you. PMH Faith says I just discovered you tonight and you're impressive. I added you to my calendar. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for giving it a shot, hanging out, doing some side splits and hip mobility. I hope you had fun and I hope you come to love the consistency. You've put me in your calendar. That feels good. I'll see you soon. Okay. Jay Pizzle says, help me, I walk like a duck. What can I do to help myself? Okay. Somebody else also asked, I have weak knees and I was told to put a towel behind my knee and lift. Can you show that? Put a towel behind my knee and lift. Okay, we'll get to that in a sec. We'll talk about duck walking first. All right. If you walk like a duck, I'm assuming you're talking about your feet turn out a little to the sides and you kind of do this thing. Let me know if that's correct. J Pizzle. Boom, boom, boom. Um, whew. Yes, kind of. Okay. How else do you walk like a duck then? If that's just a kind of. All right. Well, there's two things. One of them, if your leg is rotating out and it's always staying kind of out in this general direction and not really pointing forward, your toes aren't pointing forward, you probably want to work on some internal and external hip rotation. All right. We do a little bit of this when we are doing the shaky stuff after the side splits. This is the internal, external, right? You probably want to do some concentrated strengthening work to help strengthen the muscle that helps you bring your legs back inwards if your leg is pointed out. If your leg is pointed inwards, you probably want to do the opposite. You want to strengthen the muscles that help your legs turn out. Okay? Exactly how you do that, you're probably going to have to find somebody with more expertise on the hip structure than me, but that will give you the general direction. It's called hip internal rotation and hip external rotation. Okay. The other thing is you generally want to be able to lift your knees when you're stepping. All right. The other thing that I usually consider walking like a duck is your knees don't do too much lifting. They don't do too much bending. You do most of the work sort of waddling from side to side. I don't know if that's what you're experiencing, but that's kind of just technique. If you focus on trying to be natural with this, it's gonna seem really crazy and strange when you look like you're marching. Um, but practicing the marching might help you feel like you find something that's closer to where you want to be rather than the duck walk. Um, Realistically, that's probably the best direction I can point you in. If you find some more like PT experts on YouTube, the terms you're probably looking for is hip internal rotation and hip external rotation. And if you want to take a look at running drills, that will give you an idea of how sort of marching in place with really good precise form might positively impact your gait. Runners, for example, have all sorts of different, or sprinters at least, have all sorts of different drills to teach how to lift their ankle up to their butt when they're sprinting, or to lift their knees high when they're sprinting, or to step a certain distance in front of them so that they land on their foot in the right place. And those are often called like A skips, B skips. But if you just search for like sprinting drills, you'll find those. So don't sleep on things that look like just walking weird or walking very intensely. Those can definitely help you sort of drill into your body some new movement patterns. What you currently have built up, all this muscle memory from walking for however long you've been walking with this slightly turned out form, is going to be hard to undo. It's not going to be easy. So when I say you're going to have to spend some time strengthening, you're probably going to have to spend a lot of time strengthening and really trying to develop strength in that muscle. That might mean you shouldn't spend a lot of time on our live doing the side splits. That might mean you want to spend the same time that you otherwise would have spent doing the side splits focusing on hip stuff that actually strengthens your muscles so that you walk more like the way you want to. Cool. I hope that helps. All right. Other question was you were recommended to. Oh wait, that's a different question. Hold on. Right before this, we had I have weak knees, and I was told to put a towel behind my knee and lift. Can you show me this? I don't know what that means. I think you're out of my general amount of knowledge. I am not 100% sure what this is supposed to do, other than to cause you to bend your knees slightly. You might feel a little bit of contraction here in the hips because you're lifting your leg up. Um,
I don't know. I imagine you would be doing a little bit of a bicep curl. I'm not sure what that is for, so I don't think I can give you any more help than that. I'm sorry. All right, we had another question come in. It said, Charlie Man 117 says, I just noticed that you have slightly flat feet like me. My left hip has been bothering me in the rear. Yes, I definitely have relatively flat feet, and I also noticed that I have a little bit of collapsed arches if I'm not careful. A collapsed arch happens when this kind of shrinks and disappears. When we were doing, for example, that thing where I was saying if we lean forward, our toes kick in, and then this arch kind of forms, and really strong shape holds. This is the calf raise thing. Right? When you're very thoughtful about it, I can get my arch up a little bit. But if I'm not careful, if I'm feeling particularly tired, if I'm feeling particularly lazy, if I just got out of bed and I'm flopping around a little bit, it is very likely that my arches will collapse, my knees will come in, and my feet will end up looking a little bit, this is exaggerated, well, a little bit like this, right? In general, this is not particularly good for the knee. It puts a whole bunch of pressure in your knees, makes your knees a little achy, and that angle change in the knees can go up into the chain of connected bones, including the hip right above. So those little things, short term, not that big a deal. Long term, walking like that or running like that, sprinting like that with your knees kind of buckled in, even if it's a slight angle that's not super noticeable when you're just standing straight, over time, over years and years and years, those will start acting up and adding up. All right. Uh, how much deeper can I go into this? What was the question? My left hip has been bothering me in the rear. In the rear of the left hip. Left hip, rear. It's possible that has something to do with your flat feet. It's possible that because your feet are flat, your arch is collapsing, is bringing the knee in. You're putting pressure here on the inside of the knee, and you're also putting a little bit more pressure on the outside, the other direction of the hip. Um, what can you do? You can focus on getting your feet to practice good form first. That is going to be the thing that makes the biggest difference. All right. So if you catch yourself resting in a position where your feet are collapsing inwards, really focus on trying to create an arch. That is easier said than done. So let's talk about what the main points of contact for your feet should be. You should have most of your weight here, just underneath the big toe, and then sort of here underneath the pinky toe, sort of in between the fourth toe and the pinky toe, right underneath, and in the heel. All right, and it should be equally balanced between those 3 points. If you lean forward, obviously it should be in the front the most. If you lean back, it should be in the heels the most. But when you're resting and you're in a neutral position, you should be relatively balanced between those 3 points on your feet. They should form a bit of a tripod. Okay, so if you catch yourself going a little bit like this, your knees buckling in, you don't have any weight on that outside of your foot tripod point, really try to almost wiggle your ankles out, get a little bit of movement until you can get the ankles to get into a situation that lets your feet support yourself on those 3 points. All right, you're basically playing with this motion. Bring the knees in, bring the knees out, bring the knees in, bring the knees out, and hoping it pulls your ankles into position at the same time. And the alternative, for most people, it's going to be hard to figure out your feet. Um, there's another way to slowly build up strength and get that tripod, and that is working on getting your feet to be super mobile. All right. Most of us are wearing shoes all day, and your toes are probably pinched together a little bit, and they're not very active toes. If you can focus on strengthening all of your toes holistically, it'll be much easier to have your feet work together to help you support yourself, but that takes a little bit of work to develop a lot of different muscles throughout your feet. All right. Am I going to go super deep into this? If for now, at the very beginning, you focus on making sure your leg bones are mostly straight when you're just hanging out, that should be enough to help you slowly realign a little bit. But the foundation of where your body is moving from is your feet. So at the end of the day, you probably should spend some time building some strength and mobility in your toesies and your feet. All right. What that means could be so many things.
I'm trying to see if I can find something to demonstrate with. This will do. All right. Have a napkin. You don't have to use a napkin. You can use like a towel. All right. If you have maybe a third, just the toes of your feet, and you sort of try to figure out how to clamp your toes so that you can pull the towel towards you without moving your feet and get stuff towards you and work those toes and grab stuff and pick things up and lift them and flex your toes and do all sorts of things with your feet. You're going to slowly build strength. You can look up specifically foot exercises that will give you a much stronger starting ground than whatever I just demonstrated with the napkin is. But the point I'm making is your toes are able to do a whole bunch of stuff, right? And if your feet are not supporting you and your ankles and your knees are all going in slightly off axis directions, having your feet be much stronger to support you is going to make a big difference. All right. One of the big things for people who have bunions and collapsed arches and plantar, I never remember how to pronounce the word fasciitis, plantar something, starts with an F, is that you kind of end up in this position and you put a whole bunch of pressure on the bunion itself and on the outside of the foot right here on this side. If you have stronger toes, you might be able to widen your stance, spread the big toe out. When your big toe is way out that way, or way more in instead of being tucked like so, when they're spread, it's going to be much easier for you to maintain that balance between the three tripod points. So if you've seen advertisements for people spreading their toes and stuff, that's probably the main reason why you would want to spread your toes, to get your big toe out a little bit wider so that it can properly form that tripod for your feet. I have gone deep down into many tiny side tangents, and I don't even know if this is useful anymore. So I'm going to take a look at the comments, and we're going to move from there. What we got? What we got? Mag on wheels. My body press harder on the left side. The weird is I can go up steps. Must come on left. Uh, Um, Jay Pizzle says you always help me a lot. You're welcome. Okay. The question was not lift like that. Lift the foot only. Charlie says me too. Um, Hold on. Let's see. Not like that. The left foot only. So you're using a towel to lift your left foot. Okay. 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 Hold on. Is your leg laying on the towel on the floor, and then you just left your foot towards you? Yes. How does that help? Oh, okay. I think I understand. Do I have something to demonstrate? Oh, tissue. I'm gonna pretend that this is a towel. Okay, it's not gonna be actually strong. I'm just pretending. But if you have weak knees and somebody is telling you you should use a towel on your foot to strengthen your knees, that is basically you. Oh, I'm being thrown a towel. Oh, oh, doggos, doggos, chill, chill, chill. Stop, 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 stop. Okay, here is a towel. I'm gonna have to wash after this. I was using the napkin, so I didn't have to wash anything. But okay, let's demonstrate. If you have it hooked underneath your feet, you are controlling the amount of resistance that your leg is pushing up. Um, so if you want to strengthen your knees and you're pushing, you can use the towel to control how much force you're pushing against. All right. When you're doing this in sort of a squatting position, there's going to be a fixed weight. Okay, hold on. No, no. Inner range, quadriceps, lying. All right, what are we talking about? Are you inner range, quadriceps, tibialis raises? Why would you need a towel for that? Yeah, but that doesn't do anything for your tibialis raises. That's not right. Inner range, quadricep, lying. Why are we lying? How would that strengthen the knee? Hmm. I feel like I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I got somebody Googling for me, trying to give me an image of what we're talking about. Oh, what? That's what that is? Okay, all right, I understand. I understand. All right, I guess from what I have seen for a moment, you're just giving yourself a little bit of elevation. You're not actually pulling on your knee. I totally misunderstand what you're talking about. So what you're doing is straightening the leg, and you're flexing the quadricep to straighten the leg. That is the job of the quads. And if I rotate real close this way, you can see when I'm lifting the leg up, that quad muscle is firing, right? When the leg is relaxed, when it's bent, it is chilled. The muscle definition is gone. When we lift the leg back up, the quads are flexing, and I'm pretty sure this towel under the knee is just to give it a little bit of support so you don't have to lift your leg up the whole time so that your hips don't get super tired just focusing on lifting the leg. That way, because you're using your arms to give yourself a little bit of support, when you straighten out the leg, you get to focus on the quads flexing, contracting to lift the leg straight. That that is what we've been talking about the whole time. That's my bad. I was like, why would the towel be under the knee? That doesn't make any sense. But now that makes a lot more sense. I hope finally. But you said towel under your knee on the floor. Towel on your knee on the floor. I don't know. I don't know why the towel would be useful if it was on the floor. Because if the towel is on the floor, you're not using your quads to do anything because your whole leg is supported by the ground. I guess you could flex your muscles isometrically, just flexing for the sake of flexing, and that might be something, but you don't need the towel to flex. So I think if you're supporting your leg, you don't need to use a towel for this either. You can just use your hands. It might be a little bit easier actually, and work on the leg straightening part, getting those quads to fire. Um, Trying to remember all the different pieces of information that you gave to see if maybe we are all on the same page yet. Lying down, that works. Yeah, if you want to lie down, that also works. Just I'm too long for the camera. I'd have to be all the way back over there. I don't want to move anymore. Okay, but that is a good piece of feedback, Tressa. Thank you. Okay, what else we got? What else we got? I think that is everything. Oh no, what is this? Hi, with three exclamation points. Says, what would you recommend to get a boat pose? Maybe to support the knee. No clue. Okay. Sorry, I was reading the follow-up comments after that, which were part of a different conversation. The boat pose is a lot about the core, and it's a lot about the hip flexors in the front. To start, you can focus on sort of tucking your knees into your chest and trying to balance on your butt. All right. This would probably be the least intense version of the boat pose. As you get stronger here, and you keep that core nice and tight, and you keep your hip flexors nice and tight, you can slowly push your legs out. The further you go, the harder you need to clench those muscles in order to keep yourself contained and straight. And if at some point you decide you want to extend your legs, boom, you have the boat pose. But that just comes with time. And a lot of it is going to come from the hip flexor and the lower half of your core. Cool. Oh, oh, I think that is now all of the chat. And we're ready to wrap up. Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, practicing consistency, working on your side splits, working on some hip mobility today. Remember, this show is all about practicing consistency. We are live every single day at 9 p.m. That does not mean you have to show up every single day, just how I show up for the internet to help you guys practice consistency. Okay? This live is designed so that once you learn it, once you get over the first phase of soreness, you can do it very often. It's designed to be relatively recoverable, not super intense. So come on back, do the workout, hang out, and get that little imaginary check mark in the back of your head to reshape how you see yourself. You're the type of person who shows up, practices consistency, does all the cool hard things, and you can take that new self image of yourself and go crush whatever other cool stuff that you got to do. All right. That is what consistency is for. It's much more than, showing up for the live and doing side splits and hip mobility. That stuff is cool. It's great. But once you truly believe you're the type of person who can show up consistently, once you start designing your life so that you can be consistent, you can go crush everything else that you want to do. All right. Don't sleep on consistency, and don't sleep on a little bit of fitness, a little bit of hip mobility, because that's what we do. We combine all that stuff together. I hope you had a great rest of your night. Happy Memorial Day. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope to see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. All right, I'm closing out. Hit follow, hit subscribe.